Hi there, this is Leslie, and today I'm going to be talking to you about doing netting stitch over a bead. I'm going to do another one just like this. This is something you can do with teardrop shaped beads or round beads or oval beads like this. I tend to make them into earrings, but you can do a lot of different things with them. And I'm using 15s for this one. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you about is materials. I've got two different colors of size 15 seed beads, and I like to use 15s. They just add a nice detail to this. And I've got quite a large teardrop. This one is 18 by 12 millimeters. And this is a pretty big one. But like I said, you can adapt this pattern to do different sizes and styles. I've also got a number 12 beading needle and about an arm and a half's length of 6-pound crystal colored fire line. And I'm gonna work on this with you, and then I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about how to adapt this to your own beads afterwards. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be doing with this is taking my needle from the top to the bottom and leaving a decent sized tail, good 6 inches anyway. And I know that from top to bottom of this bead it takes 21 15s. If you're using a different bead, you should count out, see how many beads will go from top to bottom. For this one I know, and if I was just using one color I would just count that out, but for this I'm using 2 colors so I can show you what I'm doing. So I put on 2 gold, and then I'm doing 1 green, 3 gold, 1 green, 3 gold, until I reach 21. And at the end that will leave me with, I think, 2 golds. There we go. That's what it'll look like. And then go back around from the top to the bottom and pull that through your bead. So this is where we're starting. You'll see that's the right number of beads to go from top to bottom. So to go around this bead we need 8 units, and each unit we will go around twice. We're going to do a netting stitch, and we're going to use the hole in this bead to help us. Make sure you choose a bead that has a decent size hole, because the thread's going to be going through a whole bunch of times. So don't use a natural pearl or something like that, because your needle will get stuck. So this is the first half of the row 1, first unit. So the first thing we're going to do is go through these 2 beads at the bottom. I'm sorry, 3 beads at the bottom. Come out of that third one. And we're going to do netting of 7. So I'm going to pick up 3 gold, a green, and 3 more gold, and then I'm going to count out 7 on here, which will put me through the green bead. Hold it down with your thumb. It's going to look like that. We're going to do that again. Count out 7, 3 gold, 1 green, and then we're going to mirror what we did at the bottom of the bead. We're going to go through those 3 beads at the top, like that. And then go take your needle through the bead again. Like I said, we're using the hole in the teardrop bead to help us. So that's 1 unit out of 8 that we're going to do. Okay, so for this second unit, we're going to be putting our needle up through this bead right here. So we need to put as many beads on to meet it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to do those in the same pattern. So 2 gold, 1 green, and 3 gold. We're going to put our needle through that green bead right there. So there's our netting getting started. Then we're going to do the pattern again with 3 gold, green, and 3 gold. And we're going to go through this next green free green bead up here. Put your thumb on it to hold it in place. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other end. We're going to finish this row with 3 gold, 1 green, and 2 gold, 6. So it's going to mirror what's already there. And we're going to go back through the bead. So that's the first half of the second unit, is I guess what I would say. It's looking like this. Now, we're going to do what we did in the first unit. We're going to go back up through these 3, the first 3 beads. Pick up our 7 beads in our pattern. 3, 1, 3. Go through the next free green bead, the one in the middle of this unit. Do another one just the same. 3, 1, 3. And like we did at the beginning of this row, go through the 3 at the end and back through the bead. Now we've completed 2 units, and you can see that the netting pattern is starting to emerge. Kind of pull it, fan it out a little bit. I'm going to do 1 more unit with you. Okay. So the first, we pick up 6 beads to begin with in the same pattern that's already on the bead. 2, 1, 3. Go through the next available center bead for the netting. Again, pick up 7 in our pattern. Go through the next free center bead. And then we have 6 to finish off. Like we did at the beginning of the row. And go through the bead again. And for the second half of that third unit, again go through 3. Pick up 7 in our same pattern. Go through the next free bead. You can see now this pattern. We'll just go with that. And do the same. 7. And into through the last 3. So here's what it's going to look like. You can kind of, that's going to spread out a little bit as you go. So you can see at the top I've got 3 units. You can see that on the bottom. We're going to finish up with 8 for this because this is a large bead. So I'm going to continue around and I will show you how to finish it off at the end, the last unit. I will come back. So see you in a minute. Okay everyone, I'm back. I have finished 7 units on this bead. You can count them at the top and the bottom. And you can see there's kind of a big gap, but we're going to close that up when we do the 8th unit. So I came back to do the last unit with you. So 2 gold, 1 green, 3 gold, 'Go through the middle bead. We'll do 7 again. There's 7. Through the next green bead. We'll count out our last 6. 3 gold. 1 green and 2 more gold, and we'll go through. Okay, and that's it. So next we're going to be closing this up. So go through the bottom 3. Now instead of adding 7, you're going to just add 3. You're going to be netting on both sides, and you're going to take your thread over here to the green bead in the first row. Pull that a little bit, pick up 3 gold, and then you're going to be going through the bead over here. So we're tying these 2 sides together. 3 again. And we'll go back over to row number 1. That green bead, go right in. We've got 1 more of these to do. It's coming together. Yay! Three more beads. We've got 1 last green bead up here, and we'll go through those last 3 green beads. And you're done. Go back through the bead, and it should look something like this. Now you'll notice that sometimes there are bigger and smaller little diamond shapes. You can kind of move your fingers to squeeze the beads together here or stretch them out a little there. And when I tie off this thread, I'll usually go through, if there's something that needs a little extra reinforcement, it looks really big, I'll go through. When you go through and tie off, you can kind of reinforce, go around a few times and back to reinforce anything that looks a little weird or a little different from the other pieces. Now, so this is this one. If you want to use a smaller bead, you can do, I did this netting with 7, but you could also use 5, any odd number. 3 is a little small, but 5, 7, if you were doing an ornament, you could even do 9. You just use that center bead as your sort of marker. This I did a video about on Facebook, the little bitty one. It only takes 11 beads from the top to the bottom. the first thing to do is to determine how many beads you need from top to bottom, and then count it out, how many netted units you can have, and that will determine sort of how many you have at the end to go through. It might be 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, and then you'll have your netted units in the middle. Here's one I did in round. This is with 5. Here's one I did over an oval bead. Push those in. That one is with netted 7 units. And then hopefully you can put a head pin through or wire if you want to string it. If not, like for this one, the hole was too small and I put a couple of links of chain. I sewed them at the top to make it into an earring. But other than that, it makes a very pretty unit for whatever you want to do with it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Thank you so much for watching.